Good morning from Los Angeles and happy Friday. It's Alissa, Coram, and Shreve here with your market update. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Ubiquiti Networks as well as Amazon, Qualys, and Dexcom, which is our new America for the week. But first, let's take a look at the major indexes. Right now, we are down across the board. The Dow leading the losses down about 0.9%, while the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are down about 0.7% each.
Yes, I was just making sure my microphone was on. So
there you go.
We're good.
We're all good.
Yeah, we're all good. So we did some softness in the major stock indexes today, and it's on the heels of a distribution day for the NASDAQ and S&P 500 Thursday. So we still have a market uptrend that is intact, but market clearly in worrywart mode, not only Thursday, but also today, lingering China trade war fears. So we wanted to look at a chart of the S&P 500, and you can see it came up to that 200-day moving average, has been turned away as it trades just below the 2,700 level. So we'll see what the close looks like today.
Yeah, that we will. And Ubiquiti Networks adding to the list of stocks that we've seen gap up on their earnings reports this week. Shares now trading higher about, let's see here, how high has Ubiquiti gone today? My laptop's not cooperating with me, but a gap up nonetheless, and the relative strength line at a new high. So technical strength here for Ubiquiti. Yeah, a 19% gain so far.
Yeah, 19% gain, and we've seen a lot of stocks gap up on earnings. Sometimes they hold the gains, sometimes not. But Ubiquiti trading near its session high after a very strong open over the 120 level. Telecom equipment firm here, and you know, anytime you get an acceleration in earnings and sales, Wall Street tends to take notice. So 3 months ago, the earnings increase was 24%. Now it's 75%. 3 months ago, the sales increase was 15%, and now it's 23%. So that's what accelerating growth is, and really bullish session so far for Ubiquiti. Breaks out over a conventional entry of 115.54. The gap up open price 120.50, also a reasonable entry point here.
Yeah, and just looking at this stock back towards the end of last year when we were seeing all of that broad weakness, it looks like Ubiquiti was able to form several bases and had several breakouts last year, while a lot of stocks really struggled.
Yeah, and it is important to note, anytime you're analyzing a breakout, obviously it looks very good right now, but if you look at a weekly chart for Ubiquiti, you see the stock has formed a series of bases. So it's important to know where a stock has come from, and this is definitely a breakout from a later stage base. They can work, but they're a little riskier because the stock's made a big run already.
Exactly, something definitely to keep in mind. And Amazon shares falling today, down about 2% right now in a chart that hasn't been looking all too good. Jeff Bezos in the spotlight for maybe not so good of a reason, involved in a scandal.
Yeah, and I wanted just to talk about Amazon technically, because obviously this the Jeff Bezos situation is, you know, he's suing the National Enquirer, claiming blackmail regarding his relationship with TV anchor Lauren Sanchez. But this is Amazon stock is just a classic example of what buying a dry up in buying demand looks like. Right. Obviously, it was on a sharp downtrend for quite some time, and then just in recent weeks, it rallied back up to its 200-day moving average, but you can see it's just a classic example of what resistance looks like.
Right.
And the value players, you know, trying to pick shares up around 1,600 here, very, very risky, because there's no meaningful buying demand here. So Amazon very weak technically. Would be very careful about catching it on sale here.
That's right. And we have earnings from Qualys coming up next Tuesday, potentially in the early stages of a handle forming here. But is this another one of the situations where this has just been such a deep base, and we've seen such a climb lately that you know, it's just not the cleanest looking base here for Qualys.
I mean, it's just a classic cup-shaped base. You do have a bullish relative strength line. Security software stocks have been in the news. We had earnings yesterday. We mentioned yesterday afternoon, we talked about earnings reports from FireEye and Fortinet, and we also mentioned CyberArk yesterday afternoon in the aftermarket update. But Qualys has earnings next week, another security software name. I actually like the look of the stock. I mean, it's been in a nice uptrend in recent weeks. Not much in the way of signs of accumulation, a lot of kind of lower volume gains in recent weeks, but I like the look of this one. We mentioned it in the earnings preview column as a possible call option trade. So, you know.
And fundamentals have been looking really good in recent quarters, especially.
It's a really strong performer in the security software group, so I think there's a potential for a big quarter here. It has, you know, come straight up off the bottom. Sometimes when a stock rallies like this, you like to see a little shakeout, little handle area form, and it's
kind of, it could be getting there.
It's getting there, but you know, just definitely a stock showing relative strength ahead of earnings.
That it is. And our new America this week is on Dexcom in the medical systems and equipment industry group, and it is also showing some nice technical performance here. So what are your thoughts on Dexcom's chart?
Like the look of it. It's holding near highs. We're going to have earnings from Dexcom on February 21st. Getting some resistance up around the 150 level, but definitely in a good technical setup ahead of earnings. Definitely there's new going on at Dexcom with their glucose monitoring systems for diabetes. Really outstanding sales growth in recent quarters, and company just on the verge of profitability, so a lot to like here.
That's right. So it seems like there are a lot of decent technical setups out there, even with a little bit of the downdraft, I guess you could say, that we're seeing now. Overall, for the uptrend, it's really great to be seeing a lot of these top growth stocks that are looking really good.
Yeah, there have been a lot of great breakouts since the follow-through day for the S&P 500 on January 4th. Still a lot of interesting setups out there too. So even though we saw some signs of institutional selling in the market Thursday and some more selling today, I think it's a little too early to give up on this uptrend. Overall environment still looks okay.
Yeah, we will be keeping an eye on the action and reporting back to you at the close. Ed Carson and I will be doing a Q&A, so make sure you submit your questions in now so we can start getting our thoughts together. It'll be fun, so make sure you tune back in at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern for our Stock Market Today show. And in the meantime, be sure to head to investors.com for all the latest stock news and analysis. You can also check out our content across social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. So once again, make sure you're following and subscribing for the latest. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you right back here later today.